babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. So this video is actually part 2 of my eyeshadow palette declutter. If you have not seen part 1, I'm going to go ahead and link that in the eye as well as in the description box. I would encourage you, if you are interested, to check out part 1 of this declutter and then come back here to part 2, or you can watch however you want. I will also link other declutter videos that I have up on my channel in the description box for your convenience if you would like to see more. And if you are here after watching part 1, I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to watch this video, and I really hope you enjoy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I have a bunch more kind of random palettes. I want to try to go through them quickly, hopefully. So this is one from Beauty Bar Baby. I just recently got it. It's fairly new to me, and so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. This is just a little random quad I put together for MBA Cosmetics when I was organizing my eyeshadow, so I'm going to keep that. That's another cheek palette that I have in here. This is a magnetic palette with, again, cheek products. These are highlighters, but I think I need to get rid of these. These are kind of old, so I'm going to put that aside. Okay, this is an Ofra palette that I think I got in BoxyCharm, and then these are Ofra shadows as well. I think none of them were labeled. They just kind of came together like this with this palette in a BoxyCharm. And then these are eyeshadows from a brand called City Beauty. But yeah, they're quite old and they've kind of been sitting here. Since these are not labeled, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter these eyeshadows, and then probably gift this magnetic palette to someone else. Okay, and then I have a bunch of magnetic palettes here. Not quite sure what's in them. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, these are my Touch of Glam Beauty eyeshadows and highlighters. I totally forgot I even had these. See, I had them all in this magnetic palette, just put to the side and completely forgot about them. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to keep that. These are, some of my older MBA Cosmetics highlighters. Again, more highlighters that I had set aside instead of put in a drawer. So these are actually some of their older highlighters that they completely I don't think they're reformulated, but they redid the color design. So I don't even think these are available anymore. They have created similar shades to these, but maybe they are reformulated. I can't quite remember. But anyway, so I'm going to set that aside. That needs to be put away. This, again, is another 2 of these are palettes filled with my Bitter Lace Beauty highlighters. Look at this beautiful palette. It's a mermaid palette, and it's filled with a lot of her mermaid or sea inspired highlighters. These are so pretty. I completely forgot about these. Oh my gosh, because they were sitting up there with my eyeshadows. I need to put this in my drawer of highlighters and blushes. Then I have this palette from Juvia's Place, and then this palette from Pure Cosmetics. The Pure Cosmetics one is the Soiree Diaries. It's your very basic warm tone neutral palette. I believe I got this in BoxyCharm, and I actually really like this palette a lot. This is one of the things that made me first fall in love with Pure Cosmetics, aside from their lashes, love them. But I like this palette a lot. I do want to keep it. And then I was mentioning this one because it's actually very similar. This is the Nubian from Juvia's Place. And it has a very similar kind of basic color scheme, but this one's a little bit more warmer tone it looks. Let me compare them side by side. Yeah, it looks like the Pure one is a little bit more neutral, and then the Juvia's Place is a lot more warm tone. Even though they're very similar, I want to keep them both. I like the quality of both of them. I think Juvia's Place has phenomenal eyeshadows, and so I do want to keep that, and I'm going to keep the Soiree Diaries one as well. Then I have this random Makeup Geek little quad. I got this in a swap recently. I have not had the chance to use it, but I've been meaning to, so I am going to keep that. And then I actually have this Makeup Geek by Manny MUA collaboration. I remember really thinking this was such a beautiful color combo palette. This red shade especially is what caught me. And then again, remember how I said we all have that green, blue, brown eyeshadow. It has that same one. I'm pretty sure that is called, yep, Insomnia. So I kind of was right. But it's so, so pretty. And wow, the formula actually still seems really nice. Whoa, look at that red shade. So, so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one as well. Even though it was limited edition, it's no longer available. I don't know. And then in here is a Beauty Junkies magnetic palette. And in here is where I have my collection of Makeup Geek singles, which I've only used a couple of times. I remember falling in love with this bundle that she had. I think it was like these ones or whatever, and just thinking it was so pretty and thinking I needed it, but then I ended up not using it as very much. But I want to have this out and maybe get some more use out of them because these are really, really pretty, especially this green shade. Look at this. Let me swatch these. Look how pretty those are. Gosh, those are totally fall tones. I need to have these out somewhere where I can remember to use them because I tend to have a hard time remembering to use my single pan eyeshadow, but I do want to keep that as well. Then I have the BH Cosmetics Solar Flare palette. This is a really, really pretty palette. I've done a couple looks with this, or a couple videos on my channel with this palette. I don't reach for it a ton just because it is all metallic shades, and they're the baked formula. They kind of remind me of the Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadows. And they definitely require another palette to wear with it, but I do think it's a really pretty palette. So I do think I'm going to keep this one. Okay, this was from the brand Blink. It was a BoxyCharm collab. This is their Electric Eyes palette. I remember being so impressed by the quality of these shadows. They were so, so soft and creamy. Oh my gosh, even now, they're just like buttery. These last two broke, so I had to fix them. But oh my gosh, look at that. Beautiful, like, jewel tone colors. I want to keep that too. Oh gosh, I'm gonna break it again. Okay, and then I have this, the Temptress palette from Alter Ego. This is supposed to be a dupe of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette, I believe. This is really beautiful. This is fairly new to me as well. I've used it a couple times. The quality of it is amazing, and I believe this palette is only $16. I am so impressed by Alter Ego and their formula, their eyeshadows. I've just tried this one, but I know they've come out with 2 more palettes recently, and a lot of people are reviewing them and testing them out. And I don't know about the other palettes, but this one is amazing quality. I really am impressed with this. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And then I have the Alamar Cosmetics palette, which you guys already know by now. I love this palette. Great quality, so, so beautiful. This shade up here, La Costa, is a beautiful highlight shade for the face. I love it so, so much. Okay, and then I have the Stilazzi Spellbound eyeshadow palette. This is a really beautiful palette. I've used this several times actually, and I think this is a really beautiful palette. I like it a lot. I'm going to be keeping this as well. Okay, and this is a random palette. This is the NARS and Andy Warhol, like, limited edition thing. This I remember using and being so unimpressed with it. It was just so hard pressed. It's not good quality. I don't know if you could kind of see the glittery sheen of this. They were just so dry, like, and just didn't, they're just chalky. This is straight up chalk. Just crap. I just remember being so excited for it because it's like pretty, and it was NARS and just limited edition, and as you can see that just, like, look at that, just crap, and the glitter just flakes right off. This honestly is terrible. So I am going to declutter this. I have it still all in the box and everything, all like collectible like, but it's literally garbage. Alright, I am really trying to speed through this now. So I have my Morphe little collection here. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Fall collection. Even though I had some issues with these palettes, I do really like them. I love the color story of each of them, and I'm totally going to keep these. I enjoy using these, even though they do take a little bit of extra babying, but they're not as bad as some other ones where they literally just don't perform. These ones perform, they just are not the best quality of shadows, but I do like them a lot. Okay, and this is the 12S palette. I believe I got this in a swap I did with a friend quite a while back, and I think I only used it once, if that, but I don't think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this because I just don't imagine I will use it. Then I remember being so excited about this palette. This is the 25B palette. It was like limited edition, and then it was brought back, and then I think it's gone again. I don't know, but it's an okay palette. These ones are very dry-ish, and I don't know. I liked it okay, but I don't think I want to keep it, so I'm going to declutter that. Then this is actually the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. Just crazy. This was the first palette that she created with Morphe, and it was just filled with all of her favorite colors that they had. And I remember actually liking this a lot. I love that it had like this green and then this burgundy shade in here. It's always the burgundy shades that call out to me. And I don't even know if this would even be good to use anymore, but I feel inclined to keep it, so I'm going to. Okay, so I have these two palettes from Model's Own. I remember when I used these, and I did a video, it was when I was testing out Catrice products and Model's Own products, because they're both very, very affordable brands. And I remember being really actually very impressed with these palettes. For being so affordable, I thought the quality of them was actually really, really good, really, really nice. The mattes performed really well, and this brush actually performs really well with them. The metallic shades are beautiful, but I kind of don't think I am going to keep these palettes just because I don't know what's going on with Model's Own. They've been on like a little bit of a like break on social media, as well as their website has been down since like last year. I think like April or June of 2018, and I haven't seen their products available anymore anywhere, so I just don't even know if they're going to be coming back or what's going on with them. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and pass these along, just because I don't know, I probably won't use them in video since they're not available anymore, even though when I did that video I recommended these. And it's so sad because it was at that time when they kind of they stopped being like available, so that's kind of a bummer. So I am going to pass these on, even though I think they're good quality, but I don't think I will reach for them that much. I have this palette from NYX, which I think is really cute. It's their electric palette. I kind of really like how this is, why does it still have the tape on it? I know I used it, or at least swatched it. Maybe I didn't. Anyways, I really like how it has, it goes from matte to like satin to metallic or shimmer in each shade. So they're like the same exact shade, but you have the variety of types of eyeshadow to use, and I just thought that was really, really cool, and I like these shades. I think they're really pretty. So I thought I'd use this once, but I guess I haven't at all, so I do want to get some use out of this, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I have this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2 palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I remember liking this okay. I thought the formula was a little bit weird. I still think it performs okay, but the formula is like soft, almost like a cream shadow, but not. Kind of similar to like the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So they're a little bit, I feel like you need certain types of brushes to get them to perform the best. Synthetic, I think, is what works best with these. But anyways, it's a very, very neutral palette, and I already clearly kept several of those, so I don't think I'm going to be keeping this. I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. It is a really pretty palette. I actually think I might see if my mom wants it or something. Then I have this Tartiste Pro palette. I think this is a really pretty palette. I liked the mattes in here. They're very pigmented. It smells delicious. It smells like vanilla. And the shimmers are really pretty too. I didn't use this a ton. This is something I purchased secondhand, and I was really excited to get it because I really wanted to try this palette in this formula. But I didn't gravitate towards it a ton. Even still, now that I'm opening it up and looking at it, I kind of think I want to keep it. I probably should get rid of it, but I think I want to keep it for now. I might have to do another declutter down the road if I'm not using any of these, some of these shadows that I'm keeping. Okay, and then I have some balm palettes. So this is the Balm Voyage palette, which I don't think I've used at all. Yeah, I don't think I've used it at all. Maybe it looks like used maybe just a little bit. Okay, I don't know. It's got a lip products in here. It's got cheek products. It's got a bronzer. It's got a highlight. And then it's got the eyeshadows. I think it's a really, really cute palette. I believe I was gifted this, not from the Balm, but from a friend. And I didn't end up really getting much use out of it, which is really sad. I think I am going to go ahead and pass this along to somebody else. So it will be decluttered, but I don't know. I'm going to, maybe my daughter wants it. I think she's about to sneeze right now. Okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was sneezing earlier, but I had to keep it quiet.
Oh, that's funny. Because it's a really nice little palette. It's still in really good condition, but yeah, I just didn't really get... The thing is, it's like really cool that they have palettes that have products like the face products in it or the lip products in it. It's an all-in-one. It'd be a great travel palette, which is probably why this is called the Bon Voyage palette. But I often forget to use those type of products because I have them, you know, I have those products set aside separately, and so they're just kind of forgotten about. So I just don't imagine I will really get use out of this. So I am going to go ahead and pass this along, see if my daughter wants it. Then I have the Nude Tude palette. This is the very first palette I purchased from the Balm, and I do recall getting quite a bit of use out of it, whether you can tell or not, but I remember being in love with this palette. Again, just like I've said in every other palette pretty much, the color that really called to me was the burgundy shade here. This is the shade Sexy. Really love that palette. I created lots of looks with this palette on my blog. I had this palette before I even started my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I have at least one eyeshadow tutorial on my YouTube channel in the beginning from using this palette. Really, really great one, but very, very basic, and I'm not even sure if I should keep it because it is so old. That clearly hasn't stopped me from using other or keeping other palettes. I don't know. I'm just gonna set that right there for a second. I think I'm probably gonna end up keeping it, but let me just talk about these. These are the What's the Tea palettes. These are new palettes to me. I only used these a couple of times. I got this in a swap I did with my friend, Carol, and I did use both of them at least twice. And I think they're nice little palettes. I did not like these little primer shades that come in it. Originally, I thought that was a really, really cool idea because they have this black primer shade and then this like cream toned eyeshadow primer shade. And they are literally like a waxy, creamy primer formula. And when you use them, they can kind of transform the shadows to look a little bit different depending on which one you use. However, when I used them, they did cause my eyeshadows to crease and on my lids. And I never experienced creasing because, well, I have dry eyelids. And so I never really experienced creasing. And this is the first time I've ever experienced creasing. And I know it's because of these primer cream product things, and so I don't like that part of the palettes, but the palettes themselves, the shadows, I think are really, really pretty. What is this one called? The Iced Tea palette has the more cooler tone colors, and the shape of them is more like an iced tea. And then you have the Hot Tea palette, which has the adorable Hot Tea little eyeshadow pans, which is really pretty, and it's got the warm tones. And hey, look it, we got another one of those Transformer shades. This is literally still that exact same color. That is that green, red, blue, brown color. I literally have, how many did I show you guys so far? 5 of them. Yeah, so since these are fairly new to me and I would like to get a little more use out of them, I am going to go ahead and keep these. Alright, so I have this Melt stack. This is I think the Love Stick stack. Yeah. I think this is really pretty. Can you guess which color called my name right there? The reason why I got this palette. I've only used this a handful of times, but this is really, really expensive for these 4 stinking shadows, and I do really like them. I just often forget to use them because they are kind of put up on my shelves and kind of get lost in the mix, but I want to have them out because I do think these are really beautiful, and so I do want to keep this. Then I have some Lorac palettes. I remember I used to really, really love Lorac shadows in their formula because they were such creamy shadows and being really impressed by them. So I have this little mini one, which I only used a couple times just because it's very basic. It's just 3 different shades. I'm going to declutter this just because I don't see myself reaching for this really ever. And then I have this little one, which was, I think, a limited edition little palette. And I use this quite a bit too. I thought it was really, really pretty, especially this kind of corally shade, coral gold shade. Look how pretty that is. Really, really pretty. I'm going to pass this along as well, declutter that. Then I have the Lorac Pro Matte. It's just like a little mini matte version of their Pro palette. I'm going to pass this along as well. I just haven't been gravitating towards my Lorac eyeshadow palettes. And then I have the Lorac Pro 2, which I got a decent amount of use out of this as well, but not a ton just because this is more of the cooler tone shadows, which I don't wear a ton of cooler tone shadows. And I actually do have the original Lorac Pro palette, but I'm pretty sure it's in my daughter's room. Which I don't know if she likes it, but if she does, then I'm probably just gonna let her have that and let her have this one as well because I don't really ever use them. So that will be decluttered as well. Sad to say. I guess not technically decluttered because if I'm letting my daughter keep them, I still have access to them. They just won't be in my makeup room cluttering up my space.
Cluttering my room.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be cluttering up her space. So this is a declutter of my space and a cluttering of her space. So anyway, so then I have these Smashbox palettes. This is the Smashbox times Vlada little palette. I got this in a makeup swap as well from Katie Marie. And it's a cute little palette, warm tone colors that I tend to gravitate towards. But I remember not being super impressed with this palette actually, and I really wanted to like it because it is the Vlada collab, and I really am a little bit of a fan of Vlada. I don't want to say I'm a major fan because it's not like I'm like totally follow her all the time, but I do love her work. I think it's beautiful. And I was really excited to get this in that swap, but I don't see myself really reaching for this, so I am going to go ahead and declutter. I don't see a reason for me to really keep it, to be honest. So I'm going to declutter that. Oh my gosh, and then I had this. This is super, super old. This is the Smoke Box from Smashbox. I remember actually being really somewhat obsessed with this palette for a minute because you're going to see why. It's got that like purpley burgundy shade right there, and I remember really, really loving it. And then it had this shade, which if I'm remembering correctly was kind of like a shifter duochrome-y like shade. Really, really pretty. Then you had a black, a gray, a creamy shade, and then this really pretty sparkly brown. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I still think it's really, really pretty. It's like a golden sparkly brown, which you guys probably can't see well from that far, but I remember really, really liking this palette a lot. I remember thinking the quality was just so, so beautiful. This is super, super old though, and I don't imagine I will reach for it very much, so I do think that I probably should, it makes me sad, declutter this, because I'm keeping other stuff that's just as old, and I hardly reach for. But yeah, I think I'm going to declutter that. I just need to. Okay, and then I have this, which was actually gifted to me as well by a friend. It's really, really beautiful. It's just this Smashbox, what is it even called? Art, Love, Color Masterclass. Look at this. It's like a book style palette, and you open it up, and it's got shadows in here as well as like highlights and blushes, and it's really, really beautiful. Oh, I didn't even realize you can't really see that well. I'm terrible at this decluttering thing. But the names are on here, and then this lifts up so you can use the shadows here. And so I only used these a couple of times. I really didn't use this as much as I really should have, especially considering it was gifted to me. But it's a beautiful little book palette, and it's got these little inserts in here to give you inspiration on creating looks and things like that. I am going to keep this. It is, I feel like new because I did keep it in the box. Like I keep most of my palettes in their original boxes. I don't know why, it's just a habit. But I feel like it still seems like new, so I'm going to keep it. And even if I don't use it, maybe my daughter might like to play around with it and use it. And I know I say this all the time, so those of you who know, you might be sick of hearing it, but for those who don't know, whenever I refer to my daughter, she's 16 years old. I'm not just handing over my good makeup to like a 5-year-old to destroy it. So it will be taken care of. So anyways, I do want to keep this, but see about playing around with it, or letting my daughter play around with it too. Okay, so then I have these palettes. This is from Naked Cosmetics. I think it came in a BoxyCharm box as well. Those colors are really, really pretty. Actually remind me of the Makeup Geek shadows that I just swatched earlier. I literally swatched these same exact kind of shades. This is really, really pretty, but I just don't tend to reach for these smaller little palettes like this, so I'm going to declutter this. Give that to someone else who might use it. Then I have this one from Lancome. This says it's their Color Design eye palette. This looks like something I should give to my mom also. So it's just a cute little quad with a silver and purple and things like that. Not my color scheme really, so I never really used it. I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh my goodness. So lastly, I have these two drawers, and I just brought them out in the drawers because most of these are like single type kind of products, but I figured I know there's a lot in here that I need to declutter and just get rid of, so I just brought the drawers out and we're going to do some decluttering. So I have this, another from this brand, which I don't know what it is, Totally Intensity. Got it, must have been in a BoxyCharm or some kind of subscription box, but this is just a kind of taupey shade. I may have swatched it, maybe not quite sure, but I'm going to declutter this. Then I have these two random Inglot eyeshadows. I received this in a swap I did a long time ago with my old bloggy friend Amanda, and I actually never used these. How sad is that? I've always heard really great things about Inglot and their shadows, and these look beautiful. I actually should have these out and put them to use. I really need to do that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and keep these. Okay, I have random, oh my gosh, I have some of the most random stuff in here. Wow. So I have this, I'm pretty sure it looks like it's from Benefit. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in so that you guys can. This is a no pressure, it's a shadow shade. Creaseless Cream Eyeshadow. Okay, it looks like this. Oh my gosh, this is so old. Who knows how old this is. In a very neutral base. It feels really nice, actually. This feels good. This feels like it would be really useful and really pretty, like as a base. Oh my goodness. Gosh, I just have stuff hidden in drawers on shelves and just being wasted away. Pretty sure that's really old, and considering it is a cream product, I definitely think it's something I need to declutter. So I'm actually just gonna be throwing this away. I'm gonna set aside not even just to declutter, it's gotta be thrown away. Okay, and then I have this random pigment from the brand Pop Beauty. It's not even been opened. It's the shade Metallic Copper. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I have so many other pigments, especially from NBA Cosmetics, that I love and that they don't get enough use out of, so I don't need to keep another one from another brand. Oh my gosh, then I have this, which, oh my gosh, this is from an Ipsy subscription box, or subscription bag, I'm pretty sure, which means it's super old because I haven't had Ipsy in so long. But this is from Bare Minerals. It's a little sample of their Advanced Professional Cream Eyeshadow. I remember really, really liking this, actually. Look how basic and boring that is. Oh, but this made a really pretty base. That needs to be thrown away as well. I can't believe it's still so creamy though. Okay, I have this. Oh my gosh, this is the cake liner from NBA Cosmetics. They still sell the cake liner. I remember getting this to try out and I didn't really understand how to use it, so I probably put it in this drawer and forgot about it. But I was actually just thinking about their cake liner before, remembering that I had one but didn't know what I did with it. I assumed I threw it away, thinking that I wanted to order a new one to give it a shot. But now that I'm finding this, I'm sure it's probably still good. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Then I have an eyeshadow in here. This is the shade Blushy from NBA Cosmetics. I don't know if this is a shade they still have anymore. I'm going to double check if they have this shade still or not. If they do not have this shade anymore, I'm going to declutter it. Otherwise, I might keep it. So I'm going to put that as a maybe. Then I have a bunch of, actually let me go through these real quick first. I have, oh wow, I have more NARS stuff. I have a NARS Himalaya. Oh, that actually looks pretty. This must have come to me in like a Ipsy bag as well. That's pretty, actually. I know it's super basic, but that's pretty, and that was really creamy for a eyeshadow. And funny because the NARS, the limited edition one, was crap and was chalk, but this is actually really, really nice. Oh, I like. I don't see myself using, I'm gonna swatch it again even though I just wiped it off, but it's just so pretty. I really don't see myself using single shadows like this, but part of me wants to keep it. No, I need to declutter this. Okay, I'm gonna declutter. And then I have this Smashbox Full Exposure. What is this? Is it a single shadow? What is this? Oh, it's like a little trial sample size shadow thing. I don't think I've used it either. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that as well. Okay, so now I've got, oh, some NBA shadows down here. Wow! These are old and probably need to be decluttered because they don't do this kind of packaging anymore. That's so funny that I still have these. Wow! But let me go through these real quick. These are from the brand like Marilyn Monroe Spa, and they had shadows. They're just very, very basic, like a white, black, and like a taupey shade. I'm gonna declutter those. Okay, let me swatch these, see if they're still good. I'm sure they still are. I have some shadows from NBA Cosmetics that are super old that I'm sure are still good, but this is the shade of Rumors. It's one of their Silk Effect shadows. This is when they first came out with pressed shadows, because when I first discovered NBA Cosmetics, they only did loose mineral shadows, and then they came out with the pressed shadows. I remember just falling in love. This is the shade Rumors. Do I have this one still? I don't know if I have this in my pressed shadow collection. I'm gonna have to look. If not, I need it because look how vibrant that is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Then there is After Party, which I do have this in my pressed. I'm gonna look. Oh my gosh, see, look how pretty these are. Okay. Get my towel here so I can wipe my hands. This one is the shade Honey. Look at that. Oh, you could barely see it. I feel like it matches my skin tone a little bit. Then we have the shade Cupcake. Oh, it's so buttery. Wow. Wow. Okay, this is the shade Jealous. I'm gonna see if I still have these in my like single pan onlys, because if not, I need to reorder these. That green is stunning. Jealous. And then we have Dewdrops. Wow, look at those. So, so pretty. Those are so, so old. I need to replace them, I'm sure. I can't believe they were just in here forgotten about. Wow. So I will most likely declutter these, but I do want to double check that I have these shades in my collection already, newer versions, because if not, then I want to reorder, because those are pretty. Okay, and then I have a bunch of colourpop Super Shock shadows. I wonder if these are even still good. They're so old. Let's see if they've dried out. Oh wow, they're actually still really nice. Considering they're cream products, I wonder if they're even, I should even consider still using these or not. Bay, I remember being obsessed with this shade because it was like a duochrome. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, see, this is similar to that other shade that I've been showing you in all my other ones, except for this is more of a purpley blue instead of like a red, brown, green. Look how pretty that is, and I can't believe, gosh, I can't believe this still feels so nice and good. Oh my god, I feel like I want to keep these. They're probably not good because they're cream products. This one is Envy. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, what the heck. I actually really loved their Super Shock shadows. I feel like, well, I mean, they were hyped up quite a bit, but I feel like not everybody loved the Super Shock shadows. I feel like when ColourPop really, really got big, really exploded, was when they started coming out with their pressed eyeshadows, like their normal pressed eyeshadows. But I loved the Super Shock shadow formula. I thought it was great. This is the shade Cricket. I haven't decided if I'm decluttering these or not. I feel like I should because they've been sitting in here for years literally, but I can't believe that they are still performing so well, like at least swatching. They still feel creamy, they're not dried out. And then it could be because I've got obviously the lids on tight and they've been in a drawer, in this drawer, like up on my shelf, not like out exposed to air as much. I mean, they're still exposed to air, but not as much as like if they were just setting out on a shelf. They're literally sitting in this drawer. And then this is the shade Hustle. Ooh, oh my gosh, this actually still feels very, very creamy. This is one of their matte shades. Pigmentation isn't as great. This I know I will declutter. This is the cheek blush in the shade Birthday Suit. And I remember not really loving the blush, the cream blush formula. Yeah, you could barely even see that. I'm throwing that away. Okay, then I have, why is this one in a package still and the rest were not? I don't get it. This one is garbage. Hanky Panky. Gosh, my hands are like... that one probably needs to be thrown away. It's not showing up. This one is Solstice. This one still feels pretty good. Kind of a basic shade. I think I'm going to get rid of that one. This one is To a T. Oh, this one feels dried out. Really dry. Yeah, that one's dried out. This one looks very similar to Dewdrops from NBA Cosmetics, kind of. This is the shade, see, this one's still in a box. This is the shade Chipper. And I don't even know if this one's been opened or not. It doesn't even look like I've swatched it. Ooh, it's very, very creamy still. Let's, ooh, that's pretty. Okay, the ones that are still kind of creamy, I think I'm gonna keep. Is that bad? That's probably so bad, but you know what? Whatever. And then I have this Smashbox Quad. This is their on stage quad. I think I'm going to declutter this as well. Don't imagine myself reaching for it. Okay, and then I also have more ColourPop. Oh, I have a MAC palette here. What? I have more ColourPop collections. I'm going to open those in a minute and swatch them. I want to go through this really quick because I know what I'm going to do with those things, and then we'll decide what I'm doing with these ColourPops. I got to look at this MAC. I didn't even remember I had a MAC. This is a palette. Oh wow, it's just a kind of basic MAC palette. I didn't even remember I had this. What the heck? Okay, this is very, very basic, and it's just a quad. I'm going to declutter this, give it to somebody else who might get some better use out of it. Okay, I'm going to set this aside real quick. Let me pull these over. So, in this is all of my Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadows, which I used to love these so much before I really got into palettes. Being my main source of eyeshadows, I used to use a lot of single shadow products, especially from NBA Cosmetics. They're loose shadows, but I loved these from Urban Decay. I know not everybody loved the Moondust shadows because they felt like they were just too dry and too flaky and glittery. But these are the type of shadows that like you kind of gotta get your brush wet. And normally I always tell people get product on your brush first, then spray them. But this is the type of product that's almost similar to like the cake liner from NBA Cosmetics. It needs to get wet and then put on the lid. And then it's just stunning. But even still, like literally I just swatched this like this. Look at that. Look how stunning that is. How glittery, how metallic. I love the Moondust shadows and I need to give them a comeback. Ooh, this one, Vortex. These need to make a comeback on my channel. Look how beautiful those are. Oh my god, I'm totally keeping it. So all my Moondust shadows in here I'm keeping. But I also have all of these little things. I'm gonna pull them all out right now. And then these palettes. So those are my Moondust shadows right here. Keeping all of those. All of these little palettes are from Luxe Pineapple, which is no longer really a brand anymore. That was a brand that I used to work for. I was really excited. It seemed like they were doing really amazing things, and then kind of out of nowhere they just disappeared. I'm still friends with the owner, and I know she was going through a lot of different things. So as far as I know, Luxe Pineapple is no longer. I don't know if she will end up bringing it back or not. but I kind of highly doubt it. So these are just a bunch of eyeshadows, and this is a cheek product, but from this brand. And so I am gonna go ahead and declutter these or give them to somebody else who might want to get some use out of them, but I really don't think I will, just because there wouldn't be a point of me using it on my channel because it's no longer a brand that's available anymore. And I'm always testing other products off camera, you know what I mean? Just for review purposes and just trying out. So I don't necessarily gravitate towards products that are either limited edition or they're not available anymore and things like that because, you know, for that reason. So these are just products and palettes that I'm gonna go ahead and declutter, pass along to somebody else who might get some use out of them, because there's really no use in keeping them in my collection right now. So I am gonna be decluttering these items. Now lastly, let's take a look at these old colourpop collections. This is the Megan Naick colourpop collection. I remember loving this collection. I thought it was so beautiful, as well as this Mink Society one. These are definitely no longer available, and they're probably too old for me to keep, but let me just see. I just want to swatch them to see. Oh, yeah, they still feel really nice. Obviously, I kept them in a box still, kept the lids on really tight. It's probably pointless for me to even keep these because I couldn't talk about the, oh my gosh, that actually, wow. Do you guys see this? Let me show you this. That shine is insane. They need to bring this color back. What is this? Amira? Oh my gosh, this is still so creamy. That's insane. That is insane how creamy and beautiful that still is. Wow. Like I said, there's no point in me using and keeping products that are limited edition, even though there are a few things that I am keeping. I couldn't use this on camera because, for one, it's old and people would probably yell at me. But, and nobody could buy it, but that's stunning. Wow, no wonder I love that collection. I know I did a tutorial with it on my channel, and I remember really loving the look. This one's just a matte shade, so it's gonna be, yeah, not as impressive. Let's look at this one. This is the shade Farah. Oh, this is another matte shade. I remember people didn't like the matte shades as much from ColourPop, their Super Shock shadows, because they didn't feel like they performed as well. But I actually really liked it. That's actually still really creamy too. I'm actually really impressed with how creamy these all still are. Anyways, I don't know if I finished saying what I was saying, but I actually thought the mattes were really easy to work with and applied beautiful. For being cream-like shadows, I thought they worked really well, and I had no issues working with the Super Shock shadows. I remember being really impressed with them. So the Mink Society one, I think, has a gorgeous gold in here too. Yep, it does. So this one's got a black, a copper, a gold, and ooh, this one I think was like a duochrome-y, yeah, it's white but looks like a pinky duochrome. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, then this one is On the Rocks. Oh my gosh, I still can't believe how creamy this is. It's probably because I kept them in the box too, I bet. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, wow. You know what this just tells me is that I feel like I should buy some new ColourPop Super Shock shadows. Do they even still sell the Super Shock shadows? I don't know, I have no idea. But oh my gosh, because how beautiful would this be, this is pretty. You guys probably cannot see, but this one has blue glitter in it. That's really unique. It's like a blue purpley glitter inside this copper shade. That is stunning. Okay, and then this one is Get Lucky. Oh, this one feels a little bit more dried up than the rest. Oh, but that's like a true gold. Wow, no sparkle to it, just like a metallic gold. That's really, really pretty. Oh my gosh. And then we have a black here, which is just a matte black. Oh, that's actually, dang! Very, very creamy and very, very pigmented still. Wow, so impressed. Seriously, this shade On the Rocks needs to make a comeback. I'm gonna go on the website, the ColourPop website, and see if they still have the Super Shock shadows available. And if they do, I'm gonna request that that ColourPop brings that color back. Okay, this is the Metamorphosis Be the Change collection from Coffee Break with Danny. And I don't even think, from looking at this, I don't think this has even been opened. So I wonder if these have to still be good. They have not even been opened, not even been swatched. Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna open them up right now and swatch them. I can't believe I have these and I had not even opened or swatched them. They look beautiful. This one's Kindness. And this looks just like that shadow that I've been showing all throughout this video. A blue, brown, red, green duochrome. Yep, looks just like it. It's so funny. Oh, wow. Okay, this one is Hope. Ooh, this is a sparkly white. It looks like it's got pink and blue sparkles in it. This looks like a matte shade. This is Strength. My fingers look terrible. Oh, this one feels very dry. Kind of clay-like. And then this one is Bravery, which is a darker brown. And that also feels quite dry. But still pigmented. Wow. Okay, so these ColourPop products I probably really should get rid of. I don't think they're products I should use, but I kind of want to keep them just for color reference. And if any of these are still available, maybe I'll actually, which is stupid of me, maybe I'll repurchase them so I could actually use them if they're still available, because some of these are just stunning and I can't believe I've had them hiding in a drawer and totally have forgotten about them. They definitely need some use. They're beautiful. But anyways, that is it for my declutter. I think really quickly I'm gonna kind of organize the products that I'm keeping, or the palettes that I'm keeping, just to show you, and then also show you everything I'm decluttering, just so you guys can see the finale, what I've decluttered, see how well I've done, and all that, and we'll end this video. All right, so I laid out everything, all the palettes that I am keeping, and this definitely does look like quite a bit. It's taking up almost my entire rug. And here's my foot for reference of how much I have. I know this is a lot, and there's probably a lot that I probably should have decluttered. But I'm very proud of myself for doing this. And looking at this collection of eyeshadow palettes that I have, I'm happy with what I'm looking at. And I do definitely want to make more of an effort to use more of these and put more of them into rotation, and that way next time I do a declutter I can know for certain that, okay, I just need to get rid of this palette or that palette or this product and that product. But I think this is definitely an improvement. It's definitely something, and considering all the products and palettes that I'm decluttering today, I think I did a really good job. Alright, and here is everything that I've decided to declutter. I think overall I did pretty well. I'm sure there's a lot more that I could have gotten rid of and decluttered from my collection, but I just wasn't quite ready yet. So I'm still very proud of myself for even getting rid of this, considering in the beginning of this video that I didn't want to get rid of anything. But I think hopefully this will help me use more of what I have, just like with the last declutters I've been doing of my face products and things like that. It has been super helpful, so I'm proud of myself for at least getting rid of the stuff that I know I really won't use at all and just really don't care for as much, or that maybe I already have other products very, very similar in my collection that I like more. So yeah, I'm proud of myself for doing this. I will definitely have to do an updated eyeshadow palette declutter in the future, just to get rid of any other palettes that I'm not using that I decided to keep. So anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was so long-winded. My throat is so sore right now, but hopefully you guys found this enjoyable for those of you who like these type of videos. I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes.